Question number 5, Alec Rowley.
Presiding Officer, to ask the Scottish Government when recycling centres will be designated as essential services and reopened.
Cabinet Secretary Rosanna Cunningham.
Presiding Officer, local authorities are responsible for recycling centres and do need to consider several factors before reopening them. These include the ability to operate sites safely, ensuring physical distancing is maintained, and discouraging the public from making unnecessary journeys. We are working closely with COSLA and local authorities on the development of a wider position statement regarding the prioritisation of waste services, and are also discussing what further guidance and practical steps on recycling centres may be required. We are, of course, grateful to all of those working to maintain essential waste collection services across Scotland.
Alec Rowley. I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that answer, and I would concur that for those, particularly the refuse collection services and health and safety services that are being delivered across Scotland, and we should thank all those frontline workers. I would have to say I had a discussion this morning with the co-leader of Fife Council, David Ross, who tells me that council officials in Fife have been talking with the police and have a proposal in place to at least start to try and open some of the recycling centres, given the levels of fly tipping. And he says that the stumbling block in trying to move forward with that is the Scottish Government. And the Scottish Government would have to be clear that these services are essential services and can be opened in a safe way. So, there's no point in blaming local councils. We have a problem with fly tipping. Will you work with councils? They want to get these centres open. Will you work with them to do so?
Cabinet Secretary.
I think, with the very best of respects to Alec Rowley, I think that's exactly what I said we are currently doing. There are, as I'm aware, a number of local councils who are looking carefully at how they can manage this. It isn't just as straightforward, though, as a single council choosing to do so, because obviously there are impacts that can begin to develop, as we see, I think, from some of the actions that have happened south of the border. We don't want to see a replication of that here. It's very important that we understand how these recycling centres will, in fact, be managed. I have to say that one of the reasons why household waste recycling centres in Scotland were closed was because of workforce shortages. Average absence rates in waste services between 15% and 35%, but some as high as 40%. So some of that still has to be worked through and managed. So it's not simply a question of just saying, yes, they can all be reopened. They have to be reopened safely. We have to know that it isn't going to incentivise non-essential journeys. And we have to make sure that they can be managed as well as possible, because at the end of the day, this is about minimising the likelihood of continued transfer of the virus.
Alec Rowley.
With the greatest respect to Rosanna Cunningham, I would have to say that the first answer she gave was that councils were in charge of this and it was up to local authorities. Our second answer is that it's up to local authorities, but that you will not, as a government, give a blind permission to open these centres. So there needs to be clarity. We need leadership. Councils are saying, SEPA has reported a 40% increase in reports of fly tipping in April from April last year. So there is a problem here that needs to be addressed. Councils want to address that problem. They are working locally to put in place safe ways of doing so, and they want the Scottish Government to work with them and to agree to get these centres reopened. The sooner we can do that, the better, and I hope the Cabinet Secretary will reflect on that.
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I'm presuming the member doesn't want me to simply instruct all local authorities to reopen without regard to any other matters. That would be utterly wrong, and I don't think it would solve any of the problems that would likely transpire. And I'm pretty sure if I did that, he'd be the first here to tell me that I had no business instructing local authorities of anything of the sort. The fact is, we have to discuss with local authorities what guidance is best going to allow them to manage recycling reopening, and make sure that there aren't unintended consequences from that, which the member doesn't seem to be particularly interested in. And he did talk about fly tipping, and can I just say, a number of the examples we've seen of fly tipping involve commercial waste that would normally be taken to a licensed disposal site. And that's not material that would normally be disposed of through local recycling centres. So opening recycling centres isn't necessarily going to fix that problem either. So I would caution the member just to be careful what it is he thinks he's calling for here, and to agree with us, as I said right at the outset, that we are having a proper conversation with COSLA about how this can best be managed for everybody's safety.